Well, I won't attempt to summarize all that has happened across Sub-Saharan Africa in 2014, but perhaps I will highlight how those broader conflict and insecurity trends identified by Nigel and indeed in some of the essays in the book can be observed in the continent, and I will hint at some of the broader implications. While it might be true that there are fewer conflicts, violence in Sub-Saharan Africa has reached new levels of brutality and caused large-scale human displacement. We've seen this in Central African Republic, in Nigeria, in South Sudan, and in all these three cases, divisions along religious, political, ethnic, and tribal lines have caused thousands of deaths and turned millions of civilians into refugees or internally displaced people. Central African Republic is a case in point. Here, between 20–25% of the population is now displaced. This is, of course, a humanitarian tragedy, but there are broader implications, especially at the political level. This year, in October, there will be presidential and parliamentary elections. The government has just announced that refugees will not be allowed to vote. So a quarter of the population will be excluded from the polls. This will have serious repercussions going forward for democracy and the stability of the country as a whole. The second trend relates to violent religious extremism that combines local agendas with international jihadist influences. It's something that Ali has already touched upon. This was observed in the Sahel, where in spite of negotiations between rebel groups and the Malian government that eventually led to an agreement being signed only last month, Al-Qaeda and Islamic Maghreb and its affiliates have continued to create havoc, attacking UN peacekeepers, local forces, and civilians, and were even bold enough to stage an attack in the capital this past spring, very much away from their traditional areas of operation in the north. In Nigeria, Boko Haram's violence has reached new heights in the course of 2014. New tactics have been adopted, such as the use of female suicide attacks, and then increased numbers of abductions and killings. This was also the year in which Boko Haram carried out its most successful attempts at territorial control and actively sought to expand its violent activities and control into neighboring countries, starting in Cameroon and then into Niger and Chad earlier this year. Turning really the Nigerian insurgency into a truly regional challenge and prompting a military surge on the part of Nigeria's neighbors. Once receiving support from AQIM, Boko Haram has now pledged allegiance to ISIS, a path that was also followed by al-Murabitin in Mali. And again, this highlights this convergence of local causes, grievances, and agendas with broader international jihadist elements. In this context, if we look east, there is Al-Shabaab in Somalia. It's undeniable Al-Shabaab that suffers some serious blows at the hands of AMISOM, the Kenyan forces with US support. But yes, while some leaders or key leaders have been eliminated, militants have been dislodged from some of their key bases, Al-Shabaab is far from being a depleted force. Indeed, it remains very much active and capable of staging attacks not only within Somalia, but in neighboring countries. Kenya is a case in point. If we look at the broader implication of this, this doesn't only have an impact on security, it has serious economic repercussions. Kenyan tourist sector is suffering a great deal. Tourism revenues were down over 7% last year as a result of the security challenge. A further trend that is very much pertinent to the groups that I've mentioned today is the increasingly hybrid nature of the threat they pose. And I'm not only referring here to this convergence of local and international ideology, but also at the mix of insurgency, terrorism, and criminal traits that can be observed within these groups. And I would even say, reinforcing what Walter Kemp's argues in his essay, that organized crime and conflict really go hand in hand pretty nicely. And conflict and crime really plays an important role in many conflicts around the world, and Mali is only one of the main examples.